welcome back for another book review in the worst lighting. If people who know how to do lighting would love to bless me with like cheap tips besides record at a different hour of the day, would be awesome, because I don't know how to make pretty lighting. And like, I know, use a ring light. Have you seen my glasses? Yeah, that's gonna get worse. So anyways, book talk. So this is Coffee Magic for the Modern Witch, a practical guide to coffee rituals, divination readings, magical brews, latte sigil writing, and more. And I said her name earlier this week with such confidence, and I think I got it wrong. So my brain short-circuited, and I thought that said Elise. But now I'm like, is that Elsie? That could be Elsie, because it's an IE, not just an E. I don't know. Miss Wilds, I don't know how to say your name. My bad. To be fair, I also don't know how to say most names. Like, that's why I hated working medical, when I'd have to like look at the chart and you're just standing there like, that is a name. And like, when like, okay, this is such a side story, not related to this, but like, when I worked in medical and like, the doctor, this was the worst part. I didn't know it was the doctor's kid. But like, honestly, I had never stumbled across this name in my life. And I was looking at the name and I was looking at the chart and I'm like, how the fuck do you say this? Because it was like, it was letters in the stupidest organization possible. And I'm like, I don't know how to say this. And before you start thinking, oh, is it like a black name where like they pick some really funky names? No, those ones, I'm usually pretty close. I might not be perfect, but usually I'm pretty close. Because I have had many a coworker with some whack names, and they're fun. Because I also have a weird normal legal name. So like, I know. It's like the semi-normal ones that I'm like, oh my god. So, I'm sitting there like, B-A-O-E, just trying to struggle my way through that. And the doctor walks up and it's like, that's my kid and his name is Bo. And I'm looking at these letters like, how the fuck do we get that sound? Remember when we were little kids and we'd go, how do you say this word? Ka-a-f-e. Coffee. No, you can't do that with this kid's name. Like B-E-A-U-E or something like that. And I'm like, that's Bo. And I felt like those TikToks that are people showing the English language where you're trying to learn it. And you're like, okay, comb, tomb, baloney. And like, there's just, and then like cough. And it's just all of the words that don't make sense. But Bo, with all of the letters. And I'm sure it's like a foreign name. I don't see it that often. Also, don't get mad at me for not knowing how to say names. So anyways, I am so sorry, Miss Wild, but I probably really butchered your first name. Because I'm pretty sure it's supposed to be Elsie. But maybe it is supposed to be Elise. I don't know. I try and say words, and that's why I don't like to say author names very often unless I'm very confident, where I'm like, yeah, like Sandra. I know Sandra. I know how to say that one. Apparently you have a special name, I'm sorry. Anyways, on to the point of this book. So this, I also just read her other book. That was the Tea Magic one, like within a 24-hour period. Dude, this is the like best sequel ever. It's the same vibe. And I loved that one. I loved the Tea Magic one. This follows the exact same thing. So instead of talking about tea, we're talking about coffee. And you'd think, how can you write a book on coffee? It's not that big of a book, but it packs a punch. So in here, literally it talks about coffee. It talks about the different brews, like where you have like the different roasts. It talks about the different ways in which you can make coffee. I learned things. I learned what a latte is versus a cappuccino versus a frappe versus like a mocha ball, M-O-K-A ball or something like that. And like what a French press is. I didn't know any of that crap. And she tells you it. And it's really good, and there's a lot of spells in here, and it just has just as much information as the tea one as it does for coffee. It's got spells, it's got rituals, it's got a lot of good information, and her humor is phenomenal. I gave this one a 5 out of 5. I absolutely loved this book. This one and the Tea Magic one I need to just get, and like in my ideal universe, I'm gonna have a shelf in my kitchen for which books and just have these tabbed for the sections I need, because I'm not gonna need them all. And like, if I need to look for one that I don't normally look at, I could look through here. But like, certain ones you're like, I'm gonna need that. I'm gonna need that a lot. It could be there. This book. I need it. It's so good. I didn't know that there was that much information on coffee, but here we are. So yeah, I would definitely recommend this if you are also a tea drinker and like maybe a little bit of coffee, because I'm not much of a coffee drinker, but honestly, I'm gonna get a lot out of this. I feel like you might as well. There's a lot of really good information in here. And also like, it's a good book. So if you're a coffee drinker and you're a witch, you need this book. It's so good. So anyways, I'd love to know your thoughts on this one in the comments down below. As always, a huge thank you to my patrons. If you'd like to support me and get access to exclusive content, it's patreon.com/nightwillowcrafts. Make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Hopefully next time I'll have better lighting. I'm trying to figure out times to record. Life be difficult like that sometimes. So anyways, till next time, thank you so much for coming along, and blessed be.